What's going on YouTube? This is Jim Afanis, aka Viper Magic, and today I want to talk to you guys about the E3 lull. So E3 came and left with an absolute bang, and it was some great stuff. If you haven't had a chance to go back and check out my videos that my wife and I did over the last few weeks on all things E3, I highly encourage you to do so on my channel. However, E3 gone, now we are waiting for all the cool new games to come out. And for me, the holiday season doesn't pick up until August 25th, which is when Until Dawn comes out. And I'm very excited for that. Shortly thereafter, early in September, Mad Max on the 1st, Metal Gear Solid on the 1st, Super Mario Maker on the 11th. These are all September, by the way. Destiny, September 15th. And the list goes on and on and on. We got Halo coming out later in the year. We got Fallout 4 coming out later in the year. There's so many titles. It's insane. But until then, there's not a lot to do. Thus the lull. So it's a great time to go through and either pick up some of the games that you have missed out on, or in my case, going back and beating the backlog for all these games that you pre-ordered and all these collector's editions you got that you haven't much to do anything with. So for me, Order 1886 I cleared out. I cleared out Wolfenstein. I just went and completed Batman Arkham Knight, which I loved, by the way. For me, definitely a Game of the Year contender, although it does have some shortfalls, and I'll probably do another video about that later. Overall, it was a great game, but I'm not going to be one of those guys that does 100% clear, because the Riddler trophies are just kind of annoying after a while, and some of the stuff is locked behind a New Game Plus mode that I'm not all that interested in redoing. So I watched the ending on YouTube, as many of you guys did, and I have beat the core game. I haven't done the 100% Arkham Nightfall, I think they call it. Is that what he calls it? Operation Nightfall or Project Nightfall or whatever. I won't give away how that ends if you want to know. Most of you probably found it on YouTube. To the few of you that actually did it on your own, thumbs up, man, because that's a lot of grinding. It really is. Anyways, my backlog right now. I just finished up, like I said, a couple other games. I'm going back and actually playing Skyward Sword for the first time. So I didn't really do too much talking about it, but I'll briefly mention it now. A couple weeks ago, my wife and I had the great opportunity to go check out the Symphony of the Goddesses, which is the Zelda live orchestra. It's been doing the tour. It's been around for a few years. This tour for us was in the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center in downtown Orlando. Nice venue, by the way. It's the first time getting to check that out. And basically, they play all the main music from all the Zelda games. And in the background, there's a screen showing off some of the accompaniment, matching the music to the game, kind of conveying a theme. Although it's totally optional. You didn't have to watch the screen at all, but it kind of helped frame where the music was coming from. They did an amazing job mapping together the gameplay with the music, and they had a full the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra was present, and they also had the there's like a choir in the background that did a lot of the hymns and everything, and I will admit I teared up. It was amazing as a gamer through and through to play some of those games and be reminded of some of those moments from Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time was amazing. And I did buy Skyward Sword, but I never got around to playing it. And I decided, hell, if this isn't an omen to go back and beat this game, getting ready for the new Zelda title coming out next year, I don't know what is. So I popped it in the old Wii U and I fired it up. And it actually holds up pretty well. And obviously, you got to kind of give some leniency to the technology. Obviously, the sound effects and the graphics aren't the 1080p, 60 frames a second that we've all been spoiled with now. But obviously, it's just a core Zelda game, and what a lovely story that I have seen so far, and just the way Zelda and the way that the world comes together with these really oddball characters, and it's just amazing. But the one thing that I don't like is the controls. Now, this was towards the end of the Wii life cycle, and they had the Wiimote Plus. So for me, it's an actual just extension on the bottom of your Wii controller. However, the newer controllers, the ones you could buy in the store now, that are most notably branded in either Mario or Luigi, they're bright red or bright green. they already have the actual Wii U Motion Plus built into them, so my understanding is you don't have to sync that as much, but the one I have on the bottom, it's constantly losing its sync, and you have to lay it down on a flat surface for about 5 seconds to let it kind of recalibrate itself, and that takes me out of the game experience. Now, it is true when it does work one-to-one mapping, so if I'm holding the Wiimote straight up, Link is going to hold his sword straight out. I can hold it to the left, right, I can point it down, over my shoulder, whirl it around, and a lot of the puzzles actually require you to do so. Hitting enemies from the left to right if they're blocking over their head, kind of coming under them, or if they're blocking like this, you know, jabbing around the side. It's really a lot of fun, and it does work pretty well for the most part when it works. And that's what scares me is Wii is notorious for a lot of these gimmicks. I feel like this is the Kinect all over again, although I guess in hindsight this was pre-Kinect. And that's what scares me about the upcoming like Project Morpheus and some of the Oculus Rift and some of these other gimmicks. I just don't know if they can truly do what I want them to do. And I got to tell you that I love Zelda. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I did the unboxing of my figure, and he's sitting right here in case you were wondering. I do a new pose for him every day. Here's my little Link figure today, swinging a sword. He was actually, I had him in my little fantasy world fighting this guy right here because, hey, why not? You know, 33 going on 7. And I love Skyward Sword, like I said, but the controls are just sometimes it's like, oh. And there's a lot that requires they're really hyping up this motion control. So in the first dungeon, you get this little beetle, and you have to fly the beetle around. So you hold this stick. You hold the control stick in front of you and you turn it to the left or the right or the up or down. You got to kind of work your way around some corridors, and it just is not doing what I want it to do. And all I could think is, God, why couldn't you let me use my other controller, my analog stick, which is crisp and it works? But I get it, Zelda, or you know, they really wanted to hype this technology, and it is integrated in everything. So hit and miss. I will beat it. I don't know. From my understanding and looking online, it's about a 35 to 40 hour game. I'm probably about 15 hours in or so. So I feel like I'm making good progress. But I just want to see it through. And it'd be weird to say I haven't beat a Zelda game. I need to go back and finish up Majora's Mask. And I still have yet to play the Link Between Worlds, which we still have the digital download code for my wife's Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, the original DS. I'm sorry, not the original. The new 3DS with the Triforce on it. So we still got to play that. We haven't done that yet. So little backlog, and obviously the new games coming out this year. So Zelda, or next year rather. So Zelda on the brain, especially after going to that awesome symphony, cleaning out my backlog. That's what I've been up to, playing a lot of that. It's really a lot of fun. So what are you guys playing in your backlog? Are you guys all caught up? Is there anything you're waiting for? Are you just bouncing around from game to game? You sneaking in Heroes and Battlefield like I am on top of everything else? Or are you still so far behind? You still grinding out to Destiny? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please do me a favor. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this video and anything else you want me to talk about because, hey, I'm here for you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.